Most days, you don't run out of time. You run out of decisions. Not the big, dramatic, quit my job kind. The tiny ones. What to eat. Which email to answer first. What tab to open. Which shirt is right. And by noon, your brain feels like a phone at 12% battery. Except there's no charger. This is decision fatigue, when making lots of choices makes later choices slower, lazier, or just worse. The basic idea is simple. Attention is limited, self-control is limited, and every choice has a small cost. Evidence from behavioral research suggests that after a long streak of choices, people lean more on shortcuts, impulse picks, defaults, and procrastination. A widely discussed line of findings in real-world settings shows decisions can shift depending on timing and mental freshness, like being more generous after a break than right before one. The details vary by study, but the practical takeaway is consistent. When your brain is tired, you stop thinking, you start defaulting. So here's a tiny rule that buys your judgment back. The 10-second rule for small decisions. If the decision is small and reversible, you get 10 seconds. Then you choose and you move on. Why 10 seconds? It's long enough to notice the obvious stuff and short enough to stop the spiral where you're basically doing tax paperwork for a sandwich. Important, this is not for big, irreversible, high-stakes decisions. This rule is for two-way door decisions. You can try it, and if it's not great, you can walk back. Lunch choice, playlist, which workout, which checkout line, which thumbnail font weight. Small stuff. Here's how to run it. First, classify the decision fast. Ask yourself 3 things. If you're wrong, is it low cost? Can you undo it within a day or a week? Will you even remember this in a month? If the answers are mostly yes, start the 10 seconds. Second, use a default. Most decision fatigue comes from starting from zero every time, so you need defaults. Not perfect defaults, just good enough. Behavioral economics calls this the default effect. When there's a preset option, people stick with it a lot. Not because they're lazy, but because defaults reduce friction and mental load. That's why set it and forget it defaults often change behavior in the real world. People stick with the preset option more than they expect. So build tiny defaults, a standard breakfast, a standard outfit combo, a standard order at your favorite place, a standard first task when you open your laptop. And if you're stuck at second 9, choose the default. You're not choosing the best, you're choosing done. Third, satisfice, don't optimize. There's an old idea from Herbert Simon called satisficing. Instead of searching for the best option, you pick the first option that's good enough for your goal. Optimizing is great when the stakes are real, but for small decisions, optimizing is just a fancy way to burn your day. Quick example, you need headphones. You spend 45 minutes reading reviews. You lose your will to live and save $8. That's not a bargain, that's a trade. Fourth, if you still can't decide, flip a coin, but listen to your reaction. This sounds silly, but it works because it reveals preference. Heads is option A. Tails is option B. The moment the coin is in the air, your brain often goes, wait, I hope it's heads. Congrats, you just found your answer. If you feel nothing, pick either. It was never that deep. Now let's make this measurable because life hacks without numbers are just vibes. Try this for one day. Pick 3 recurring small decisions you always overthink, like what to eat for lunch, which task to start with, or whether to reply now or later. Before you change anything, notice how long you hover. Literally, look at the clock. Then use the 10-second rule plus a default. At the end of the day, write down 2 numbers. How many times you caught yourself looping and roughly how many minutes you saved. And track 1 binary metric. How many times you used your default within 10 seconds. Even if you save only 5 minutes per day, that's 35 minutes a week. And the bigger win is not time, it's mental clarity. Because decision fatigue isn't just, I'm tired. It's, I'm tired of myself. A few guardrails so you don't misuse this. Don't use the 10-second rule for health decisions with real risk, money decisions that aren't reversible, relationship decisions that change trust, or anything tied to your core values. Also, don't confuse small with avoid. If a decision is uncomfortable but important, it's not small, it's just scary. The point is simple. Stop spending premium brain power on discount decisions. Today, pick one recurring small decision and set a default for it. Lunch, first task, or what you wear. Then use the 10-second rule the next 3 times it shows up. One line takeaway: stop spending premium brain power on discount decisions.